Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's RDAPdan. Hope you guys are having an awesome week. First, I'll kind of fill you in what's been going on. So most of you that have been following my videos pretty much know the story, but those of you that may be catching this video for the first time, I definitely recommend going back to my first video, which I'll put a link on there for you guys. So I was sentenced to 42 months in federal prison, and I really didn't know much about anything. Just knew I was going to prison and I was terrified, so I posted a video on YouTube, and that's kind of how this whole thing took off. Once I got out of federal prison, saw the feedback on there and decided that there's a lot of people with the same questions as me. I was able to get into RDAP. I made it through RDAP. I got the year off for RDAP, and then I also was able to get 11 months federal halfway house. So on my 42-month sentence, I served 13 months. So for me, that was phenomenal. It was about as good as it gets in my situation. So I hadn't seen my kids in 2.5 years. Last time I saw them was May 2014, a couple of months before I had to self-surrender. So I flew to New York last week. Got to see my kids. It was amazing. Actually, if you guys stay tuned to the end of the video, I will share the clip of the reunion. My life is an open book, so I love sharing with you guys because you are the reason why I do these videos. So what I wanted to talk about. I stress in all my videos, preparation, preparation, preparation. And what does that really mean and what does that look like? All you guys potentially that are watching this video, you're either getting ready to go to federal prison or you're watching this video because you've got a friend or a family member that's getting ready to go to federal prison. With my clients, we really focus on preparing for the journey. Preparing means so many different things, from talking on the phone to giving you insight as to what really to expect, talking about what you're going to do with your day-to-day while you're still out on pretrial, how you're dealing with your probation officer. Maybe you have a crime where you have victims and you still owe money. How are you handling that? Also, preparing your personal narratives and your character reference letters on what's going to go to the judge at the time of sentencing. And some people think, none of that really matters. And there are cases where you've got the judge that you got, and no matter what, he's not going to budge. But I've got a client that just got sentenced. He was originally looking at 20 years. That was the original plea that they were offering him. He didn't have drugs on possession. It was a drug conspiracy charge, part of a doctor's office, and it was very similar to my charge, conspiracy to distribute. It was a much larger quantity, and the operation was running for a lot longer, and there was a lot more money involved than my situation, which was why he was originally offered a much higher plea of 20 years. Well, going back and forth after about 6-7 months, that plea got reduced and then offered him a 10-year plea, which he had no minimum. So it was pretty much 0 to 10 years. Just like anybody else, and you guys, nobody wants to go to federal prison. He didn't want to take the plea, but at the end of the day, he realized, go to trial and you're looking at probably 15 to 20, or take this plea and kind of hope for the best. So he agreed on the plea. We worked really hard on his character reference and his personal narrative. His character references, you don't want to overwhelm the judge with pages and pages and pages of stuff that he may or may not read. So you kind of want to pick some really strong character reference, people that that know you, that understand what you've done, that are willing to hold you accountable, and they're not just going to say great things about you. Everybody basically understood that it's real important in the character reference letter not just to say all of the good things that you've done in your life and how sorry you are, and please go easy on him. He's a really good guy. He didn't mean to make this mistake. That's the obvious direction that you want to go in and that your friends and family want to go in, because they haven't wrapped their mind around that you are going to federal prison. They don't really believe, like, you're a good guy, the judge is going to see that. Not necessarily. The judge is so used to seeing so many people that he's kind of, numb to the whole situation. So the only way you really can make impacts with the judge is saying almost the opposite. You got to say the things that are real. You got to dig deep, and you got to expose yourself for what is really going on. Once you've taken these pleas, you're guilty. So sitting here and pleading to the judge that you're such a great guy and you're doing all these wonderful things in society, please give me a lesser sentence. You got to think he's looking in his mind going, well, you're such a good guy, and why didn't you think about this before you committed your crimes? So we help with the coaching process and really dealing with you and your friends and your family, getting your mind to open up to really accepting responsibility for your role in the crime. Regardless of what you think about it, your role was there. That's why you're going to federal prison. So with this particular client, he was real receptive out of the gate with taking feedback and listening from past experience, from not just myself, but from all of the clients that I deal with that are willing to get on the phone and talk to potential clients. Todd, you're amazing. You've got no problem getting on the phone and talking to clients about your situation and how things could have very easily been better for you if you've done some things early on that were different. Things like that weighs a lot when the right client is listening. So this particular client took all of the right advice. His family and his friends rethought their thinking, and they really did realize that, hey, not only did you cause yourself this giant mess, but you're also putting me, the client's friends and family, they're going through it as well, because they're the ones that are dealing with, you're going to go to prison, and how are we going to help you take care of all of your things? So all the stress you're putting on them, they become part of your victims. So with his character references, these are their words. The only thing that we do is we guide them in understanding what's important in there, and not just to beg for mercy, but to show that the client's taken ownership in the things that they did. So let's get to the good part, right? He was agreeing to take a plea for 10 years. When he did his PSR, when that came back, they were recommending 72 months, which is better than 10 years. So he's thinking, okay, things are looking up. Well, at sentencing, prosecution wanted the 10 years, and the judge took everything into consideration: first-time offense, nonviolent offense. The guy's got a family, he's got support out there. He really read these letters and really felt that this client was being sincere. And the amount of work that the client's been doing from the time that he started working with us until now has all been setting the motion for track record the entire way of showing somebody that can be pro-social in our environment, and not necessarily going to be somebody that just goes and throws any type of gifts that are given to them from the legal system, throw them away and just end up back in prison. So at the end of the day, the judge departed down from the 72 months to 24 months. I mean, and if some other things fall into place for him, some additional halfway house time, maybe a little bit of RDAP, he's looking at 10 months, 11 months, and he's potentially out of prison. And this is all based on preparation. This isn't any one single thing that made this happen. It wasn't just a great letter, and it wasn't just doing a couple of good deeds out in society while you're going through this process. Every step of the way, everything was documented. Everything was processed properly. He didn't stop working. And that's what I tell you guys is I can help you, I can lead you down a great path, I can show you some great tools, but I can't work harder than you're willing to work. So if you hire a prison coach, prison consultant, and you just think that you're going to stick your head in the dirt and you're going to get these amazing results, you get what you put into it. I highly suggest you guys take this time real serious. Stop right now, reevaluate what you're doing, what books you're reading, what your day-to-day consists of. Are you just sitting inside and moping around and being depressed and beating up on yourself and feeling sorry for yourself? Or you're like, you know what, I'm going to go down fighting and I'm going to do everything possible to give myself the best chance for a great outcome. And even if your sentence doesn't get reduced to what you want it to be, you've set your mind frame to now you're getting ready to enter the legal system, you're getting ready to enter into federal prison with the mindset that you've already started training yourself with these new habits. And once you have these habits and you bring them into federal prison with you and you continue down that path, because you don't know when this stuff is going to pay off. At some point, you're going to be getting ready to go to the federal halfway house and you're going to be asking for additional halfway house. Chances are, if you're going to a camp and you're not taking RDAP, the prison's probably going to try to give you 3 or 4 months halfway house at the most. You're not seeing a lot of halfway house being given at camps. So by you taking all these steps now through the entire time you're in prison, then if we go to negotiate additional halfway house time because you didn't get the amount you thought was fair, so now we're going to go to the case manager coordinators, the CMC in that district, and we're going to be asking them for potentially additional time, They're going to want to know, A, why, and what have you done with your time right now? How productive have you been? It's never too soon to start, but it can be too late to start. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys. When I get news like this, it just makes it, man, everything that I focus on and putting these videos out, it's this type of stuff right here, because you know, this guy 100% is convinced that it's all of the work and effort that he's put into it because of the plan that we put in place. It's not rocket science, guys. It's really simple when it comes down to it. It's easier to talk about doing things than it is to do it. So don't be a talker, be a doer. If you have any questions, you can always call me, 509-434-4695. You can email me, rdapdan@gmail.com. Check me out on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook. You can look at all the crazy posts I got on there. There's links to all of that stuff. But really, guys, I can't stress enough that if you don't ask, you're not going to get the answer. And if you stick your head in the dirt and you're hoping somebody else is going to make this all better for you, whether it be an attorney or a prison consultant, look at where it's gotten you so far. I hope you enjoy checking out my reunion video here with my kids.
Daniel, are you nervous to see your kids for the first time in 2.5 years? Are you gonna cry already? We're not even there. So how are you feeling right now? One word.
Nervous.
What are you gonna say right now? Who are you gonna grab first?
I don't know. God, I'm not gonna recognize them. I walk right past them.
He was crying before he left the room. Alright, I'm gonna shut it off. Any last words?
I can't tell you guys. The time went by so fast. My kids are 16 and 14, and like I said, it's been 2.5 years since I've seen them. And before that, the longest I've ever been away from them is, you know, weeks, a couple of months here and there, and that's it. So I'm looking really forward. They're going to be coming up here in a couple of months. They love that I'm doing this. It's helped them. You know, this process has not been easy for them. They've gone through a lot of just challenges as growing up kind of without me a little bit in those teenage years. It's been a ride for everybody, and you guys have been a real integral part of this that's made my life a lot easier because of the support and the emails and the comments that I get from you guys. Really gives me the motivation to make another video. So as always, guys, I really need you to like my video, share my video. Please subscribe to my channel. That is what's giving this thing legs to walk on. RDAPdan is here to stay. YouTube is my home. I will not be leaving anytime soon. Have a great week, guys, and stay tuned.